Boyz.
Welcome to another edition of Truth and Rhythm. This is the interview show that gets deep in the pocket with contemporary music's foremost masters of the groove. I am your host, Scott Dr. GX Goldfine. If you enjoy this programming, subscribe to the Funk and Stuff channel on YouTube, which is where Truth and Rhythm lives, and be an advocate by spreading the word among fellow funk, jazz, and R&B music lovers. Join Truth and Rhythm's membership program through Patreon. You can also submit a direct donation to the cause anytime at funkandstuff.net. At that site, you can also purchase the book Everything's on the One, The First Guide of Funk. Shop for official Truth and Rhythm and Funk and Stuff merchandise, and use the Amazon links for all of your online purchases, which allocates a percentage to this show. For those of you who go the extra step in supporting the show, you have my heartfelt gratitude for allowing us to continue to shine the light on those special artists whose quest is to find truth in rhythm.
I'm delighted to welcome to the Truth and Rhythm Mothership Charles Clark, an original member of the 1970s soul vocal act The Floaters. The Detroit-based quintet had one of the biggest worldwide hits of the late 1970s with the dreamy, seductive, and super fun Float On, all nearly 12 minutes of it. The group released 4 albums and all had another hit with You Don't Have to Say You Love Me, and performed extensively. Last year, Charles Clark revived the Floaters with 3 new members and has released a classic-sounding new song called I'm So Glad I Took My Time. Others he's worked with through the years include CJ and Company, Dennis Coffey, and Heavy D and the Boyz.
Yeah, just several
Charles,
good guys again, Yeah, how you doing, man?
How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm fine. I finally got a chance to hit face to face with you.
Yeah, I ran you down, you know.
That's true.
Where are you today, Charles?
I'm at the office. I'm in Michigan, not in Detroit. I'm in like Novi. I'm in the office. I'm getting ready for rehearsal in about an hour. The band gonna come in. That's what we're gonna be doing. We're getting ready to hit the road. Yeah, but we got a show that's coming here in Detroit in August, so I'm working on that, because, like I said, I got new guys in the group, and I've been rehearsing with them like 3 years trying to put this together, because I wanted to be right when I go out. Because when they saw the Floaters, it was like a tight thing, so I got to make it tight soon when I come back. Because I don't want to be like how when another Will Smith come on stage and slap somebody. We laugh about that, man. We don't want that after. You ain't the group. Yeah, man. I'm here for you, man. I'm here. Thank you for contacting me. Yeah.
My pleasure. So glad you could make it, and fans are going to love it. So let's talk a little bit about Detroit, Charles. Such a cradle of soul and funk and all that good music. What was it like for you just coming up in that scene, and what drew you to music?
Well, you see, I came up before I got with the Floaters. I was doing gospel. I was doing gospel. That's the whole story. Everybody here would do the gospel thing. And when I tried to do R&B and music like that, my stepfather, he didn't allow it. So like, cut my voice, and you ain't not in my house. You're not doing that. And so about the age of 11 and 12, the guys were out, behind our house. We would play basketball, and that's how I got in the group. Paul brought me into the group. Yeah, it was fantastic. They would be rehearsing. We were rehearsing Larry Cunningham basement. And then we had, you know the Detroit Emeralds, right?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so James Mitchell is my god brother. His mother adopted me. And so at the age of 12, I was with James. I stayed with his mother and his dad. And everything that I know came from that area, from him, his mother. That made me a better dude.
Well, did you come from a musical family, and when did it become clear to you that
I was a musical family. Sing? My grandmother sang. We was in the choir. Some musical family. I had more of a gospel background than everybody. So I had a
Did,
different tenor.
who'd you see growing up like perform that just kind of really impressed you and
Well,
influenced
with
you?
Detroit Emeralds, and sometimes at the club, like the Jacksons came down, and the different groups, the Temptation, and Protest, different ones, they would come down there and rehearse with James, and just using the space. So I got a chance to see a lot of those guys when I got a little older. But before that, I would hear everybody singing and the contours. So I got a chance to see that. But after that, I got a chance to meet everybody. Everybody was family then.
Did you guys start, singing on street corners, or were you in a
Oh,
basement somewhere, or what'd you do?
actually, when the group got together, before I got together, Paul was like 4 years old. And another guy that was Jonathan, he was going on the road with James Brown and did little things with um, we playing guitar, BB King. So we had a lot of musical people that came around us, but we would do a lot of tours across the city, like the different groups. We'd all get together in better high schools and different clubs. Detroit is one of those cities where there's a lot of things, clubs, and we go and singing on a festival weekend. So we did that. That was the dramatics. So we had a lot of guys and spinners.
Did you always feel comfortable on stage?
I feel more comfortable on stage than I do just walking around doing anything else. By me being away from it, I really missed it. It's like there was something missing with me. And when I got back on it, man, it's like I never left it. I've been like a little kid trying to get candy. That's what my wife said. And she's been with me 45 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
So who are a couple of your singing heroes, Charles?
My heroes. Who else? Ron Banks and the Dramatics. I listen to the sounds of, you think I listen to Temptation, those groups, but actually my group would like the Tim Creed, different groups that was coming out of New York and New Jersey, those groups, I love to hear them sing, or I would love to hear Rita sing, the different women groups, because they had more feeling within their voice when they sing. Guys sort of like sung straight. Every time I had a woman singing, they was like, wow, it was like magic. And so I sort of catered my tenor around them when I sung. I didn't have that Eddie Kendrick sound. I still don't have that sound. I don't sing that way. And so that's what it was. I didn't have the Eddie Kendrick. Eddie Kendrick wasn't my hero. It was listening to those Tim Preach and those guys back out there because they had a different sound, and I love that sound. Yeah.
That's ironic, looking outward from Detroit.
Yeah, it was different. Because James said, well, why don't you try it? I could not, I could sing them, but it was like they were just, to me, it was just a straight out sing. It didn't have the flow. I listened to Aretha Franklin and Bird of Black and those different ones. Or listen to Gladys Knight. I love hearing those. Besides, the floaters, we love like seeing Gladys Knight and Pips, and we watch the OJs. And so happened we got a chance to have, Charlie Atkins that did the choreography for the OJs and the Pips and all. He came and helped us with our choreography. So we used to do our own choreography. But when he came, he told us different ones. So I had some good teachers. I had Maurice King that came from the Temptation Motown, helped us with our vocals. And there's a lot of people come in and show us stuff. When the Charlottes come in, we watch them. So it was a good thing, man. I had some background.
How'd you guys first get signed?
What happened was James came back from overseas, right? And my mother, Mitchell, his mother, once kept saying, because we had a class, she said, you got to do something with my boys, they ready to go out. And so what happened was he came on, he did one song. So the songs that I released, So Glad Took My Time, it was about James' life. And we went in and recorded that. We went on Bahamas and we came back. We lost one of our members, and we put Ralph in the group. Ralph came in when we started recording. Ralph Mitchell, the Aries. So he came in just in time for us to hit the road. And so we recorded and we did a lot of things around the city. And I think Al Perkins is one of the guys in Detroit. They picked it up and they sent out to different ones. And the song that was supposed to be released was I Just Want to Be With You. And so they said no because Float On came around and they said they wanted to hear the long version. And so they argued about, they say it's too long. Nobody wanted to hear that long, slow song. It was more like the still water, that kind of flavor. And so they sent out to California and it just went. The thing is that ABC Record was, it was going in bankruptcy. And Float On came along. Nobody knew about it in the company. Some of the people that brought it in, and it was playing it. It was gold and going on platinum before the executives of ABC knew about it. So they actually went in bankruptcy and Float On took them out. And so our favorite friends in Jamaica, they were sort of like upset with the ABC because they said, "Why y'all give them the deal?" Nobody gave us a deal. We were just a group nobody knew about it. The song was playing. You guys was all out there. They was all out there playing it. And Float On just did it itself. It was a fluke because it was an introduction song. That's all it was. We was introducing ourselves on stage, and that song was the one. And then the song by "You Gonna Say You Love Me," I think that was Presley and a couple of Italian people sung it, and that was the second release that was gone. Yeah, and I heard that for the first time. And sung that song.
Well, Charles, if you could take us all back to like the studio when Float On was being recorded. What was
Wow, that was a trip.
what was the vibe like? And did you guys each create your own raps or what?
Okay, what happened was Jane that wrote the song around us. He had picked out the things that he wanted to say to different women types and things like that, but that wasn't us. So when we went in the studio, it was all nice and calm. We went into factory, so a lot of the Parliaments and the Funkadelics and different ones came out of that studio. We never heard the words until we got in there because, like I said, we was doing it on stage. James had me saying to one woman, that wasn't who I type, and we just said, he just said, "Well, go sing your astrology song." We argued about it. You can't do that to us. So we did our astrology song, and that's what happened. Barney of Westbound, they said, "No, leave it like that. Don't change anything on the song." And that's what it was. We just went and sung it. First time here, we just went and sung the song because it's fitting. It was us, and that's what it was. It was about our life and the things that we did. It was really us that we did. The woman I like, Miss Universe. And they think that she's a picky woman. She's not. She's more quiet and educated, and she knows who she is. She's, you know, Miss Universe is. She's that thinker, and that's what I like. Paul liked the wildflowers because he loves a lot of women's piano, so that's what he liked. Ralph, he liked the woman who can take care of herself and come with him. And Larry, he was a free-minded person. He loved cancer. Larry loved everything. Larry did more talking on stage than he did singing because that's who he was. He was a friendly cancer guy. And that was the group. That would make the group. Yeah.
Wow. Now, did you ever think it was going to be a hit?
No, we never did. We didn't know it until we was rehearsing, putting it together. James said Charlie Atkins, he flew him in, and he said, "Well, let's put the choreography on this song right here." And so we cleaned up our choreography, and it was that. Because we had another song in mind that was gonna go. Because we had the first song, I'm So Glad It Took My Time. We were still working on that particular song. So we was on the road, and we were just working on that. So Charlie came in, and we did Float On. Float On was out there selling.
For those who don't know, I'm so glad I took my time is a real nice ballad too, but I guess
it was, and it was a true story, and I picked it because the song meant so much to me when I heard it. Because man, I really want to sing the song when it first came out, but Ralph was singing it. I kept saying, "James, let me sing that song." He said, "No, Charlie, you like to sing your tenor." I said, "No, I don't. I want to sing the tenors, that kind of tenor." He said, "No, that ain't for you." So Ralph sung it, and it got played. But so when I came back in, I said, "I can't come out unless I have something that's gonna go out. That's me." And so glad I took my time. That was all the time that I took to get back in. So when they did the album cover, you see the clock that's on there. It was a Zodiac clock, and it was in Michigan. That was all me because I would try to get out so many different times. I wrote a lot of gospel music, so that'll be come out later. So I was doing that. I was doing a lot of different things, but it was in the music, and I was bringing other people together to help them. But so glad it meant everything. Understood the time that it took me. I couldn't just put it out and say it's going to happen. It's still working in its own time.
Did you guys get that float on down in one take, or did you do several
It's
different?
one take because it was already us. That's
Hmm.
what it was. All we added was more so like I was trying, we just introduce ourselves. Everybody introduce themselves because we're that kind of group. We're more like a show group that we indulge. Out with the artists and we love talking to the artists. We're a close-up action group, and so we participate in the group.
Did you get
Nightclub, we go
did you get
down.
any pushback that like, hey, this thing's too long?
No, no, it was that was the thing. Everybody got it, and when they heard it, they just let it play. Every time I talk to somebody, they say, "We just heard it and we just let it play." Float On sold and did its own thing. Nobody did anything to it. All the DJs and everybody, when they heard it, they just played it. It was that song. It was this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was the time.
Now, for those who don't know, I mean, younger people or whatever, the astrological signs were so in at the time, and it
Uh-huh.
was such a great pickup line for guys and,
Yeah, uh-huh.
what's your sign, girl, and all that.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Because you had the dramatics had theirs. You had the fifth dimension, they had the astrology sign. I think somebody else had one, but it just went a different route. It was saying it, because dramatics we were singing dramatics song on stage. We was doing ours. Because, in other words, dramatics were our favorite group. The dramatics that come from Detroit. That was Ron Banks was my favorite singer.
mm,
Um, my teacher was Rance Allen when I was in school.
mm.
So that was my vocal teacher. And he always made me sing. He said, "Well, your voice is different. Sing your voice." And it was all happening from there. Like there was different people coming out like to do things. hmm
So Float On blew up. How did it change your life personally?
Yeah, it really did because we went on the road. I really didn't get a chance to enjoy it because every time we went on stage, somebody would tear up some of our equipment. So we had that thing like coming on stage, be in front of somebody or behind. Cause we travel with everybody. Somebody would mess up our equipment. So really didn't get a chance, to really enjoy it. And we really didn't make any kind of money going out. So we were just out there. They pushed us out there. And we were just working as we do any other club, you know. And that
Did
was
you have fun going on TV though and doing those kinds of things?
Oh man, we had a ball. Yeah, we did American Bandstand. We did Soul Train out there. We did different ones. We did the Don Christian did live. So that didn't bother us. So because I was like just being on stage. They said, "Go ahead and do what you guys gonna do," and everything always worked out. Like I said, Float On did everything for us. It introduced us to the world who these guys were. You know, that's what it was. We were true to ourselves and what it was. There wasn't no faking. There was nothing. That was stone raw who these guys were.
Well, what about when you were out on some of those shows, opening for other, people? Did was it kind of a thrill that you got to meet some of those guys,
Yeah, it was a thrill. Okay, we worked with everybody, but my favorite was when we worked with the Jays, or we worked with Smokey, and we worked with Eddie. Um, what we worked with the Commodores, they was good, but that was like ranching. And we worked with the Jackson Five for a week. Um, but it was great. We worked with Marvin Gaye, and we was there for a while working with him, and we just had a good time. We had a good time. We worked with the Manhattans, a lot of different groups. We first went to New York at Carnegie Hall, and we got a sold out. So that's when Michael Jackson and um, 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 what is it? The comedian Richard Pryor came out there. Donna Ross they came out, and we got a chance to sit and meet with them. So we had a good time. So we really had a good time. The different ones would come out the restaurant, they would welcome us. Yes, that was how like we got to meet those people. So yeah, it was a good time. But the Jays, man, it was just something about the Jays that they would come and sit with us, and we was like part of that family. We sung with a lot of different groups, but they made a big difference. And we went outside, you can't come in here. They came and they sit down with us. Because I guess because Jane was a good friend, it was like family. Yeah.
Funny. To me, the first album, or I hear a little bit of two groups that haven't been mentioned yet, and that's like I'm thinking like Four Tops and Spinners,
Mm-hmm.
type influences. The second album is the one where I feel more OJ's kind of thing.
Yeah, your second album, we got a chance to be more of ourselves. I love the second album because we got a chance to sing more. Okay, so that would make the difference. We were more comfortable going in the studio. The first time we weren't so comfortable going in the studio, we were learning. And the second album, it didn't get much play because what happened was, you know about it, we got boycotted. We was going to South Africa, and we put in honorary whites to go there. You know, Earth, Wind, and Fire and all of them were there. And so what happened was we went to New York to meet the executives there, and we met with Wendy Williams, and we was coming from, I think, Seattle, Washington, whatever. We coming to New York to sit there. We were tired, so we're sitting there eating. And so she was sitting in the room, and she started the interview. And first thing we knew, her interview was, she said we was trying to be on the white, or we were pimps from Detroit because we like to dress up. And that killed us. And we didn't get no record play. So it killed our album. You know, so
Wow.
people say it was one album, but the second album was actually better. She actually killed us. Because you got Anita Baker that came from the Floaters. Nobody ever heard that story. She's come to our band rehearsals down in the basement, and the band that she was with, Chapter 8, that's what Anita Baker would sit down with us and do a rehearsal. But she never mentioned it. So that's one of those stories that you don't hear about. But her music, her album got fixed on the pavement. Our royalties came in, that's how they produced the album. You know, then they picked it up. That's where Anita Baker came from, with the Floaters.
Oh, wow. I love that
Yeah,
chapter
yeah.
8
People
stuff.
don't know it. Nobody said anything, but yeah,
I
yeah,
just want to be your girl. That was good stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
The band that played for Chapter 8, they played behind us on the road. Michael, you know, the one that wrote her album canon. Yeah, So a
Oh,
lot of things came from the Floaters that went back out there.
hmm. On that first album, I didn't mention, but I want to call out. I also liked. I thought "No Stronger Love" was a good one.
No Strong was a strong song.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the song that posted. I thought it was the other song, but No Strong Love supposed to be the song that went out. And it was a good stage song for it. Everybody was well accepted. Yeah, so No Stronger Love, You Want to Say You Love Me, and Float On was some of our strongest songs, you know,
Really?
off that first album. Yeah.
And then Magic, the second one, title track was really cool. Kind of a float on
Magic was
follow up, like a
was a
float on.
comeback from Float On. So it was that
Yeah.
magic from the first album. And that's why it hurt us so bad because it got boycotted. Nobody got a chance to really hear us.
It's too bad. Let's Try Love one more time is really nice.
Oh man, yes, yes, that was about us. Like I said, when James wrote, he always wrote because we had little brothers, so he wrote about us and him. So everything that those two albums were about, this family here. You know how our relationships and everything. How he would make us get out of things and watch over us. We were like bad boys and trying to get all the girls, and so let's try this and let's try that. So everything had a meaning. Whatever the song title was, it had a real meaning to it. So that's how James wrote. And James still around. James is he's my mentor now. He's my big brother because his mom brought me to the family, and I became part of that family, his family. I became his little brother. They treated me the same, because I didn't have nowhere else to go because I couldn't stay with home with my mom and my stepfather. So James' mother actually raised me. Out of all the kids she had, I became that child of hers. And where she went, I went. But if James come in, he had a club. He'd make me go to work in the club and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, James, my big brother. I have a big brother, and that's James. He's a minister now, but that's my big brother. So if anything I
Okay.
need to know, I go to him.
All
Mhm.
right. Very cool. Well, how did you guys feel when the second record didn't catch on? Were you discouraged when going into make the third one?
We was let down. We was let down because we knew that we know nobody else knew because that album was more of us actually branching out, being able to do what was going. We sort of had restriction because we had Brandy to come in to do some of our background because we were fresh. And tell you the truth, this is a secret. I mean, me and James was always in the studio, but the other guys they would come in the studio sometimes to do the background, So we had Brandy to come in from Tony Atlanta and Don. They came and did some background with us, and me and James would do it, and then we'd bring the guys in. So it was funny, man. We was trying to get together, James, because I'm trying to get a record on you guys. You out here running the streets. They're playing basketball. Time to do this. He said, y'all don't got big head. And it wasn't big head. It's just that we was in the street and we want to tell everybody it was in the neighborhood. We were playing. We played basketball in the alley behind my mother's house. With the glass and everything. We played rough basketball. That's what we did, man. It's really funny about the photos. Yeah.
So they literally like floated on out of the
Yes,
studio.
we did. Yeah. All the best guys from different high schools would come over there and play basketball with us. Yeah, we were just the kind of people like the enchantments. Because we're all friends. They stayed around. We all stayed in the same block, so we all get there. We all play basketball. It was a normal thing for us to get together. Go come down to the Detroit Emeralds Club and we sang. The thing was, I always tell everybody, they were better singers than we were, but we were the performers. So it made a difference when we went out in our show. They could both singers. I mean, they would whoop our butt singing, but when it performance, we were the performers because we was watching James and different ones did that technique. And it was like something natural with us. And their team, yeah, we was the one, we was hot ones.
Yeah, that basketball must have been helpful though for keeping your breath when you're doing all the choreography, right?
Yes, yeah. Because me and Paul was based and Larry were doing the choreography, our own choreography. And then when Charlie Atkins came in, he touched us up with the angles for television and stuff like that. So it was a good combination for us. Yeah.
So for the third record, you moved to an MCA, and you had a new producer, and
yeah, we had a new producer. They came in, and what happened was everybody decided to change our sound. ABC wanted MCA then wanted to try somebody else on our sound, and so they brought them in and they recorded us, but they wanted to do a funk on us. What you call it, jazz, some kind of funk on it, and it was changing a bit, and that wasn't us. It was just somebody that could. When you heard the first two albums, you heard the flow, but when you got a chance to hear that third album, that wasn't our sound. Jazz fusion, that's what it was. And so that was just something totally different. Yeah.
Yeah, that record was way funkier. And the producer I show Charles is Eugene McDaniels.
Yeah, Gene McDaniel. I was trying to say, yeah, Gene McDaniel. He came in and they changed that whole sound with jazz confusion. And we all said, man, that's not us. And we took him in the studio and he kept us singing all this, he kept us singing perfect, but it wasn't us. It wasn't us.
Yeah, Levitation was like really hard funk.
It just took us someplace else.
There was still a lot of variety, though. I thought, like Brand New Life.
Made
Up My Mind, really good ballad.
They're beautiful songs. They are very beautiful songs, but it just wasn't us. It was totally somebody else, and we didn't have that home about that body feeling into it. We were just singers then.
Yeah,
that made the difference.
Sweet Lady September was like breezy soul song. That was like real
That's
different.
A beautiful song. Yeah, that was what I was saying. That was a beautiful song. Yes. It still didn't get in play because we were still coming out that vote hot. So that what kept us away because we got with MCA Records and what they said, well, these guys didn't get anything for us, so they gave a little small budget to do that album, but they didn't play it. They didn't give it any airtime.
Yeah, the albums flowed into the future. I was thinking in '79, I was wondering if you guys got funkier because of like Five Special, came and they're real funky from Detroit.
They come from the neighborhood.
Yeah, I know. So
they come from that was Brian Grace and my brother was singing, and Jane, when we came to they just changed their sound. Yeah. As a matter of fact, they would come to our rehearsals and come to our shows and see with us, and that was a group that came that was looking like us and they were doing it. Yeah. Yeah. So
did you do any shows with them?
We never got a chance to even work together. No, we didn't do any shows because they was on another side and they didn't do too many songs. I think they got a bad deal too, so they didn't do much after that. That's what happened with them.
Did you do any shows with Enchantment?
Yes, we did a show with Enchantment before we had a show. Because remember I said we all worked and played basketball. Eugene, the lead singer, he was my vocal coach at one time. We was in the same school. So he's been on the show and tried to give some vocals. Yeah. It was give me vocal lessons, and Lorenz Allen gave me lessons. Yeah, yeah,
Wow, what a great environment to have been in though, with just, all that fun, all that singing, and that must have been great.
It was, and man, I loved because when I went to school, I was that was like short of school, right? But my music and the dancing, they helped me with my work because I would dance, and doing my choreography, where I sing, and doing my schoolwork. That kept me focused, and so I would do it. And I could do my work. It was easy for me. That's one thing that did something different for me was the music. You know, so it really did a lot of things for people. So.
Now, even though the record, that third one, didn't do that much in terms of airplay or sales, did you guys still go out and do some shows?
Yeah, we're still working there. We weren't doing as many shows, but we still worked for a while. With the third album is where things got bad. Guys got, things keep doing this, and we start changing with each other, because we weren't making enough money. We worked for a while. We did two of the songs on there, Levitation and uh, Disco. I think that's what it was.
So do you remember some of the acts you were opening for that? Weren't you even on some bills with like Parliament Funkadelic and stuff like that?
Yes, we was on there for a month, man. That was another funky one. We was there for a month with the Parliaments and the Funkadelic, yeah. And when they did their last album, they were in the same studio with us, right? It was the P-Funk, whatever the P-Funk was, it was the mothership. But that was when they came out the studio, they were smoking around. Somebody left one in there and set the studio on fire. Studio. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on here in Detroit. Yeah, nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Hey, over at United Sound?
No, not United. It was Pack 3.
Oh,
We all worked at Pack 3 for all that stuff. We started in United Sound. We was like in there one day, but James didn't like the sound. So he took us over to Richard Beckett at us on Pack 3. And that's where all of our music came out of. The first two albums came out of there. And the fourth album came out of there from that studio.
tell us one or two of the most unforgettable experiences you remember from being on the road.
Let's see. One of them, we was riding on the road, right? And we woke up with down south. We was in the cars and our vans came on, and everybody was like asleep except for me and the drivers. And I was dozing off. And we woke up, we was in the crane. It was great. So that was funny, man. We woke up in the clan. Everybody looking down as we riding through it. Nobody said anything. It was the funniest man. And we also got to experience the same thing that Temptation did in the other groups, getting pulled on the side of the road by the police. One time we got chased out of town in Knoxville. We went up in the hills to get some of the equals riding. We went up in the hill and we went to a restaurant, and we shouldn't have been in that restaurant, but they let a guy we came in with loud, Detroit guy, young guy, they loud, without security, tired. And so they was guys so loud, and they came in a restaurant, and a number of white people in there. We were a little older one, and so the boss came out. He said, "Well, we got to let some of these in so that Martin Luther King went through here." So it was all funny. And our road manager was the girl that was with the Silvers, and so she was white. Her name was Judy. So me and Larry sat at the table at the counter eating with her, and so the guys was loud. They were really loud, I must say, too loud. And so next thing we knew, shotguns came out. Shotguns were pointed at us again. And the guy said, "I want you guys to get up out of here." So Paul looked at the lady. He said, "Well, I just got my hamburger. Y'all take forever." And he slammed his hamburger down. And the chocolate. Next thing we know, the sheriff and all the whole county of police came up. And "We got a place for you guys. You don't handle these things. We got a cornfield for you." So that was a cue for us to get up, get in our little cars, and march our little bus up out of there. And they took us to make sure we got to the next towns. So that was funny. We did our war tour. We was in Europe. No, we was in Korea. And they had a curfew because the war still was going on. And so we was traveling out there. We finished the show. We was on our way back to our hotel. And our bus driver, he let some prostitutes get on our bus. There was something in front, laughing with him. So going down the road is black, because the big airplanes with jets would land on the hellbound. So next thing we got pulled over. Next thing you know, the army came out on both sides of us. And they was all like young guys. They never cracked a smile. Never showed their teeth. They was living with their little Uzi. So the girls, they got on, they ran. And the driver, he broke and ran. He got shot. He got killed.
Oh,
So
wow.
so we had to get somebody else to take some time because he was transporting those women on him, and it's already at a curfew. He had a slip to take us back and forth because the show went over, and so he wound up getting shot, and they killed him. And they wound up getting the women. He had about 3 or 4 prostitutes on our bus, which nobody supposed to be on our bus at all. So that was something that he had on there. I guess he was trying to bring them on to us or something like that. Cause we looking and seeing these women on the bus. We knew nobody put piano. We all getting back to the band, and that was quite an experience. Yeah.
So is that
Another
like
experience I had.
77, 78 around then?
Yeah, that was 70. That was 78, and we was traveling too. Okay, we went through Russia. We left Korea or Japan, and we was like a half an hour on, not even half an hour on the plane. And so all the Korean, they laughed, they be laughing, they were drinking, they were drinking, right? Next thing we know, one of the guys, me and Paul was sitting here, and the next guy, he was dead on the plane. So we had to go to Russia with a dead guy next to us on the plane because they were drinking sake. Nobody knew he was drinking his sake. He just died, just killed over. He died. And they came and took him quietly. And I mean, we had a little thing that happened on the road, man. You know, I believe in all those things.
So
Yeah,
you
it
encountered at least 2 dead guys?
just one.
Well,
He
the other
just
guy was, do you say the
The
other guy
other
was
guy,
shot
they
though?
was all looking, they never even paid no attention. He died, and they didn't pay no attention. So the students, they came in, wrapped him, took him in the back. Me and Paul looking at each other. And that's what happened, man, on the plane. The plane couldn't get up in the air good enough. You know, you can watch the footage of it. And he was gone. He was gone. Yeah. Uh, the one scariest place when we went to Russia, that was a place where it was like cold. Everything was cold to you. So we got off and we was watching the guys. Nobody smiled there. We walking our little butts on through there until the next plane, and that's all it was. We was there for about an hour. So it was strange, you know, because that was our world tour. But we missed some crazy things. Yes.
Sounds like your tour manager had his or her hands full.
Yeah, they had the hands full. They had the hands full because no telling what was it. The day to day, there was always something new. Uh, but I love entertaining. I love seeing people smile and laugh. You know, that's my character. You know, that's the leader in me. I want to make everybody happy. And I really miss being on stage. But I had to.
Did you ever make people wait for an encore to do float on, or did you always do it before an encore?
No, we go up, we get the encore. We got it. One encore we couldn't do is our only time in our hometown, Detroit. We had to perform float on. And we was at, you know what Belle Isle, they talk about Belle Isle here. It's an island.
I
It's
don't
one
know.
of the
I haven't been there.
Okay, it's an island we call it Belle Isle. So you can go out on it, you know, that's where you can party and picnic.
On
in
Lake
between.
Michigan or what?
No, it's right in Detroit,
Oh,
off the boulevard. And you see Canada right across it. So it was so many people there. They were pushing and shoving. You'd have thought it was one of those big rock concerts. And so we're trying to perform, you know, women's bumping their head and, you know, passing out on stage, and we're trying to sing. And abruptly, the mayor was on there to take the mayor out. They sent the helicopters to try to get us out. But we got in our cars and we smuggled out. And so we never got a chance to really perform a big show in Detroit. Never. We came in, we did Pine Now, but our biggest show, we never got a chance to do it here. They just couldn't go it on because there was too many people that was coming up on the stage, that was rushing on the stage. And you can see them for miles and miles and miles. And, you know, that was how big it was. And
wow.
so that's one that we keep, and we always talking about the show we never got a chance to do.
What was there one that stands out for you, Charles, where the crowd was just unbelievably great and you guys had just a great show?
That was all of them. They were all, even that was a great show. You know, they were all we got welcome, you know, it was just fantastic. You know, that was one thing about us performing because we really loved doing that. It was just the other hand, the biggest part of everything behind it, what people didn't know was the bad thing for us. We kept our smile on, but yeah, I could tell you, I had a good time, but I had to walk off, like I said, I had to do that papa, I had to do that daddy thing. Because I didn't have my father, so, I'm be with my kids.
Well,
And
yeah,
started early.
let me just so you guys came up with a fourth album though in
Okay.
81, and that was like a different label, maybe an independent. I don't know who it was.
That was the first album cover. That was the first time to go with P Records, where Float On came from. That was the original company. Because we had really went through a whole lot of things and we sort of broke up the group. Me and Paul left the group. There was too much going on, we still had a friendship, but it was politics that was being played. Larry wasn't going out on the road and Ralph wasn't going out. So me and Paul kept going out on the road. So Paul wrote most of the songs that was on there. And we added a girl on there. I call it Shot Sugar. And we had another guy, his name was two guys, Robert Palmer and the other guy named Bernard, and they were original floaters before we recorded. So everybody we used with the floater had sometime been on the stage. Even today, the guys that are performing with me, two of them, the guitar player that played on all our music, his name is Kenny Goodman. That's Paul's cousin, first cousin, which would be my cousin. He played on he played on the floater on all our music. So I brought him in and his little brother, which was they used to dance, call themselves the Junior Floaters, the little brother. His name is Danny. So he got experience. And when he's on stage with me, I feel Paul because he danced and he moved just like Paul. So it is shocking when I hear him and he's just like Paul. And when I hear Kenny talk, I hear Larry talking. Because we've been together that long. It sounds like Larry. I said, it gave me goosebumps when he get to say anything. It's Larry. And Danny, the youngest one, he danced just like Paul. And now Larry and Paul are the ones that are gone. And I have another guy, he's I think one of the spinners is his cousin. And his name is Al Smith. So he come around with the spinners and the Four Tops because his family with them and some of the Parliament. So he was in the music business and he's a great singer. So that's the new floaters.
And they're channeling, like,
Yes.
the
Yep,
legacy.
the same sound, yep. And that same feel, that's the magic of it. It's that feel. We're in the studio now recording another single. We're trying to release gonna have another album to finish out this year with, but we're working on it, and we're trying to make sure everything my concept is have a little hip hop, new flavor within our R&B. Because everybody has their own, way of hip hop is. I mean, R&B is, but I want to keep it that original R&B. I want that to stay there so when they hear it, maybe it's start playing again. It's that want to dance be up close with. Ain't nobody arguing, fighting, and slamming on stage. We love to sing to women. You'd never hear us call a woman a B. None of that. It's always going to be clean. Our music is dedicated to women.
Well, I'm so glad I took my time. Definitely has a, old school charm,
Yes.
but, to me, doesn't sound like it's a retread or something. It still sounds good.
And I said that when I hear it, I said, well, it's supposed to be a reap, but it sounds different, and for some reason it just sounds different. James said, because y'all made it different, and y'all just went in and y'all did it because we loved it that much. So thank you for saying that, man. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah. How much work did it take to, kind of get it back together?
Wow, a month because we put the music together, but we went to singing. It was easy. Just went on the song because I did the first part of it, and I had the new guy do the end of it. So it was just there. It was that song.
What made you decide to actually get it back together, the group?
Because, like I said, that was our first song, and I was more so like dedicated to Paul, because Paul's like he's my little brother. And I was really missing him and missing Larry, but Paul, because he did the talking on the first part of it. I said, let me do this for Paul. That was Paul on the first mix of it. That was Paul talking, but I came and I did the second. And Ralph was singing the first song, the last one, and my new guy was singing. So he sung it different because he never really heard the song. I just had him come in and just do the song. So that's happened. That's that new song.
And were there any floaters revivals between like the early '80s and now?
No, we didn't get a chance. We were going to do that. We were supposed to do what do you call it? The old school. With this something about our history. But it was too late. We couldn't get together. Larry got real sick, and he eventually passed. And Paul was already sick. He had Larry. Paul had what is it? He had cancer. So Paul had cancer of like 5 or 6 years, and so he really couldn't do anything. So he was just withering away. So we never got a chance to do that photo reunion. Okay, now you have Ralph. He's still around. He goes out and he sings a little bit. That he called himself the Floaters, and I made it. I separated and I said Charles and the Floaters because I don't know how long Ralph's gonna get. Because y'all pray for Ralph because he's been sick. He's been dealing with some things, but he said he can't. Sometimes he can't get up. I don't know if he lost his brother uh, lately, and he lost his son just a couple of weeks ago. So he passed away. His son passed away. He's been sort of like sick. I don't know if he got cancer. He won't tell me, but I know he's sick from something, and so I pray for him.
Did you ever think about doing something solo?
Yes, I started to do that. Right, that was my first thing that I was going to do. And what happened was I went to perform on the stage. I was doing Detroit, and I just couldn't feel it. Now, if I was doing gospel in the church, I could feel that. But when I went to do it as myself as a performance R&B, I didn't feel it because I need those guys up on stage and my family up there, and that's what I was used to. So I said I can't do this, and so a year later, I pulled a group together. So that's why I'm more happy with the group. And besides, I told you I lost my voice when I left. I was in the construction, and I had a truck accident. My truck flipped over, and I swallowed diesel fluid, so I couldn't talk for 3 years. So
Wow.
that weighed on me because the diesel like burnt my lungs. I couldn't say anything, and so that kept me away from it. So that had down in my spirit, But I had other businesses after that, and I tried to sing. And just only thing I could sing was my gospel music, which I'm gonna be putting out, praise and worship music. Somehow I did good because I changed my tenor, and I was singing that raw, and something that I always wanted to do, and it made me sing that raw. So I want to make this a gospel album for my mom. She just turned 89 yesterday.
Wow.
So I still have my mom around, and I just
Wow.
dedicated. I want to have it at the end of the year for her. I
Wow.
don't want to lose my mom. When I heard him, I just want to hear you sing gospel music like you did when you was a kid, and I'm working on that.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
And how did you get some of those other credits that I mentioned, like CJ and Company and Coffee? And were you just kind of hanging around and they said, "Hey, come"?
No, see, they were like family. We knew them before we had a record out. We would sing with them. We would do shows. My godmother, she had us working with the thing for the city. We were always doing cabarets and things like that. So CJ and all of them, we would do those, Johnny B. Master, we would do those kind of shows with them. We all started locally, all of us. That's how that came about. And I talk to guys every now and then. They want one of the guys want to write for me. I say, well, come on, when you get a chance, come on and write. So that's the history. We all know each other.
I think weren't they on, they were on Westbound, right?
They were on Westbound. I
Yeah.
don't know who they were. They stopped, but because some of the what is Barney from Westbound would come when we're doing Float On. He would come. Actually he was there when we was doing Float On. He was sitting big, but right there, he's laughing and he said, that's my son. That's my son. Keep playing it. Barney Mendelsohn from Westbound. He was sitting right there and we did Float On, and he was right there when I did I Say You Love Me. Uh, you don't have to say we do You Don't Say You Love Me. It's like a bigger song on stage than Float On is. It's different. I say, wow, they love Float On. We get standing ovations when we do it. It was a simple song. I'd never heard Until James to sing this song, and it was different. Elvis Presley sung it. Another group sung it. I never heard anybody sing it, and I heard an Italian lady singing it. An Italian guy singing it. So that's how it came about.
Hmm. I know one of the other songs also made top 40. Yeah, I Just Want to Be With You made top 40. Um, what about Heavy D and the Boys? What's your story with that?
I didn't know too much of them. Larry done got a chance to hang out with them because I wanted out to perform with them. So Larry done got a chance to sing with them. Remember, because Larry done did the Float On over again. I forget the guy they did it with. They was in the movie. Um, I forget that movie about New York. And it was the two guys. They was in. So Larry and Ralph got to do the background with them guys again. They called me, but it was too late. I forget the guys to sing it. Uh, wow, they name bypassed me. But they done. They sung it with them.
I got you.
Uh-huh.
Um, how did you feel about if anybody ever said, that the Floaters were like a one-hit wonder or a novelty, because if you listen to the records, it's more than that. But how did you feel
Mm-hmm.
about, that perception?
See, that part hurt. It really hurt me because nobody knows the other side of that. It wasn't anything that had to do with us. It was management and the record company. I said the record company didn't know we was with them. And so long was a platinum album. They didn't know anything about. We met them after a month after the album went platinum. Record company met us, executives met us. We never sit down with them for anything. When we got there, Wendy Williams did this bad. They was trying to be white and we was pimps from Detroit. Where'd you get that from? We wore suits all the time. That's where we dressed in Detroit. Detroit got young guys, they like to dress. Now the guys in Detroit, they had the pants sagging off their butt.
Yeah.
That's the style. So the different what you wanted to do. So that really hurt because calling us a one-hit wonder because nobody would play the stuff and they didn't with nobody, the show that was going and we were like boycott because somebody said we were trying to go to Africa. And it wasn't. So it would hurt. And I always tell her, we couldn't have been a one-hit wonder because you don't know the whole story of it. If you understood the hurt and that how we were hurting in it, we didn't receive any money from our album, and it was a platinum. Nobody was on the road and wasn't making that much money, and we just out there. We were performing because that's what we did. So the cause of one-hit wonder, it was like a hurt. Because so everybody behind the stage that wasn't working, putting it together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I hear it now. It don't bother me. That's why I said when I came back out, I wanted to play it, have a song come out. And what I did, and in my mind was, I want to leave something for my children, and my grandchildren, so they know exactly who their granddad is. Because they see everybody else and they hear all the story, but they don't even know anything about the granddad. Because I sit around the house, I really don't talk about it no more. Because they listen to everybody else. They don't know nothing about Papa. So yeah, it hurt. When they do that, it really hurts when you hear that word. Because it
Yeah.
was something that was behind it that it wasn't the guys' group. 'Cause we worked, we kept going, we tried to work. But with black music, you only know what you hear. What have you done for me lately? If there's not enough songs coming out, you're not hearing. With white group, they're gonna push and they're gonna make it come out. And that's the big difference. Black music, they don't do that. They try to go to something else, something good, and they really don't push the group unless you're a mega group like Michael Jackson and different ones like that. And even though they had a hard time coming out, but Motown was totally different. It was what Motown did because Detroit was Motown, the music, and cars. So it was that time. That's where all the money came in, was building up the automobiles and the music. So that was a big change. We didn't have that coming in at that time. So that made a big difference. Like I said, it was management there behind the group that didn't do anything for the group. They sit back and let the group fall. We asked them, so what y'all gonna do? You're not trying to work us, and that's what it was.
Yeah.
So
Well, and that's what I want, to help, it's called Truth and Rhythm. The show is called Truth and Rhythm to get to the
yeah,
truth. And
this is the truth. This is the gut truth. You want to know the truth? Ask Charles.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Charles
I
will
hope
tell you.
people will go back if they haven't, heard the entire albums,
Because I
and
did a couple of interviews and I'm amazed how people say, in Detroit, a lot of people didn't know we was here from Detroit. They never said it. So I go to the place, say, I didn't know y'all was from Detroit. Yeah, we were here. We're from Hamtramck. We Detroit, the Temptation, all of those are heroes and stuff like that. But it's surprising what people know. They don't have that information. Only way they get it, they go online, internet, get all the information. So,
Mhm.
no, I don't plan on being a one hit. if I just get one song that's played, then I got my mission done. So I'm working on. Besides, I'm putting it out myself. Everything on this song is coming out of my pocket. I'm making sure it's happening. So I
Yeah.
believe in myself, and my band is like I got 7, 8 guys in the band. Then I got the group. I still got my staff for the lighting and engineers and stuff like that, and they come willingly come to rehearsal with me. Nobody asks for anything. Everybody wants to make this work. That's how we believe in it. We got
Have,
enough people to believe in it.
have you done some shows so far?
We did one. I did a reunion for the school that I went to Persian. That was the only one. I did that because I wanted to see what my new group looked like. So show the one that we're about to do is coming up in August. That'll be our first show here so far in Detroit. We're doing a big show here. James, the Detroit Emmy, they trying to work us to go overseas, so they're working on that. I'm working on looking for different uh, uh, companies to put us to work. So everything right now is coming from my office. I'm working hard trying to get contact with booking agencies and stuff like that. So
Well, yeah, the good news is that nowadays you can do that kind of thing on your own, but the bad news is it still takes a lot of work.
yeah, it's taking a lot of work out of me, but I'm really enjoying it because I know what I got to do. And my plan is so my grandchildren to hear them, they'll come to my office here because I got no space, and they'll sit around so they understand it now. And I said I just bought a piano for one of my grandbabies. I have great grandchildren,
Wow. God
so
bless,
they coming on, yeah.
Can they all sing?
One of the thing, one of my granddaughters can sing. One of my grandsons can sing, but they into hockey and football, soccer, stuff like that, ballet. Some of them they play some instruments. That's what they into, and I want them to live their life. I want them to do what I do. But the young ones, that's what they want to do, like Papa do, and it just coming naturally for them. And so I enjoy them because they who they are, and that was the best thing for me. Because my first one of my sons, his name is Charles. They call him Little Charles. But the boy is he's 6'6". So they still call him Baby Charles and Little Charles. So we stand together. It's like this. So it's funny when people see us. So, and then I had a good life raising my children. I'm a happy person. Me and my wife been together for 45 years. I met her when she was 17 and flew on,
Wow.
and that's Miss Universe. And I have a beautiful family. I can't say explain. And I think that's what I needed, was to have my family with me. And very family orientated.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
fantastic.
love my family.
So when can we expect to hear the next song, and when might LP or EP or whatever come?
Well, they're gonna send you the original EP back. I thought he was gonna send it to you today with the numbers on it, the codes up on it. So my uh into whatever he's gonna be sending it out to you because I told him that it was gonna come out to you. But I'm looking to have another single. It's gonna be an up-tempo song, maybe next month or something like that. And
So
so that's what
June.
I'm working on. Because we can release some more, frequently now. But I gotta make sure it's good and it's like old school with a little new school in it. So that's what I'm working hard on. I'm that guy where, if somebody don't come in, I'll keep changing it, change it. So glad to take my time. That's me. They say I call myself procrastinator, but it's got to sound right. It got to be right. I got to know that it's there. So
Well,
that's what happened with that song.
we took time to make sure this would be perfect, you and me.
Yes, that's what I
Yeah,
did. I
yeah,
sit there and I listen to it over and over because there's a lot of changes in it, but it had to set us for my ears. And I'm glad you like it. Because when
yeah,
I let
yeah.
James to write the first right here, he said, "Oh man, what did you do to my song? I thought it was something wrong." He said, "No, he was falling in the chair. He was crawling. He was like this. He was laying down in the chair." He said, "I love it. I love it." I said, "Well, thank you, James." He said, "No, thank you, because you made my song better." He
Ah,
said,
can't beat
yeah.
that.
I said, "Come from you. That's good, yeah." Because he knew how I was.
How
So
how how can people keep up with what might be coming? Where can viewers go?
the
Or
website is going up about in 2 weeks. I'm doing the video for that song there. So I'm working on everything. Like I said, everything is coming out my pocket when I'm doing things. Because I run my office here. What I run is more like I help people's in like group home that or in hospital got injuries and things like that. I'm a people person, and so I work the state of, and so white people provide a place where they can come together, sit, a community of people that have air injuries, any kind of injuries they have, and they can sit in our office. We take them basketball, baseball, skating, different things like that. Because they just come out of the hospital and they can't do a lot of things, but they're in the little group home, so it gets them out of that, and they come here. And my office is called a comfort zone, where they got their own community and they come here. And so that's where I got an outreach. So I help and I feed them. I make sure they got their clothes, their hand thing. I make sure they got problem with their social security, the stuff they don't know, anything they have trouble with, or they have problems with their home that they're in, the medical home, the rehab home. That's what me and my wife does. I love working with people. I mean, that's my field.
Wow, that's great. Man.
Man, I love it.
Wow.
And sometimes if they like battered women, I'll come to the police, they'll call me, or they call the office, and I'll give them a place to stay at that night. So until they get a place to stay at. Or if there's someone out on the street in the wintertime, they'll have a place when it's cold, I'll open it up so they can come in and have a place to lay down at. I'm very community.
Wow, they must be so great, so grateful.
And I've been doing it for wow, almost 20 years now. Been 20 years I've been working. I got a contract from the Oakland County, and that's where I'm sitting at now. Yeah, I love it. This is that's what I say when my singing up on stage. I love doing. I love seeing people. It's just me. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm nervous before I hit that stage, and I don't. When I go into my dressing room, I'm so quiet. You hear me talking now? Don't say anything. I go and I sit down, I do my yoga, and I just sit to myself, because they can't smoke in my dressing room or nothing like that, because, I'm not a smoker. And I meditate for a while. I got the guys, they doing it now. And so when we go out, we're one unit. I always did a meditation and yoga before I hit the stage. And so I have my peace, but I'm a different person on stage. I love it, man.
Yeah, like all centered and zen.
Oh, man. It's something different. But like I said, I didn't get that feeling when I tried to do it by myself. Everything was empty. So I just did one show. Couldn't do it because it wasn't there. Even though I can go out and I can do everything with the audience, it's just that thing that was around me with the guys dancing, me jumping back in the background and singing, I didn't have that, and I needed that. It made me full. And I really appreciate when I see different groups doing a choreography. That was the emptiness. After all those years, it was empty, and I got on stage. I said, I love doing this, but something is missing. And the thing that was missing was being able to be with the guys.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Well, maybe you can later in the year get on some bills, with some other, great vocal acts from back then that still have some
We're working on
members.
With the show, the film that we're doing in August, it's got a couple of people on the billboard, so we'll have a chance. We'll be working on different ones, and maybe something might come in between that, or maybe I'll be coming out there, but I'll keep in touch with you. I was so glad when you called, but I was disappointed. I said, I can't get with him, can't talk. Well, it was just so glad I took my time to go back to, so glad I took my time. Because you get a chance for it. It took a while for us to get together. So I can't talk, man. I really can't talk. Because when I lost my voice the first time trying to get it back, it took me like 3 months to get it back. And then I couldn't sing when I came back. So it took a lot. And so because of my asthma and different things like that.
Yeah, well, knowing that history now, I really understand. So
Yeah. But
hey, man.
I wanted to see you, man.
I appreciate it.
I said, I owe this to him. You were the first one to call me. I said, I owe it to him. I got to make sure I get on it. He said, Charles. I said, I can't do it. But I'm really glad you have patience. Anything that you want me to do, you call me. I'll be there. Be there.
Right.
When I see you got my word, you got my word. My word is a contract.
Well, I appreciate that.
My word is a contract between you.
It's been a great fun talking to you. And, on behalf of the viewers and listeners, I want to thank you for the music and thank you for your time today, for sure.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, audience. Glad you guys got a chance to meet me raw.
Yeah, wishing you all the success with the comeback. So
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Truth in Rhythm. A big thank you goes out to our guest as well as to you, the viewer and listener. Also, much gratitude to Pleasure for supplying the show's funky opening and closing music. As a reminder, you can always access the complete list of linked shows by episode at funkandstuff.net. I urge you to support this program and receive the extra benefits along with that by subscribing to the Funk and Stuff channel on YouTube and sharing it with funk, R&B, and jazz lovers, joining Truth and Rhythm's membership program at Patreon, submitting a donation at funkandstuff.net, buying Everything is on the One, the First Guide to Funk book at Amazon, shopping at the Funky Things store for cool merchandise at funkandstuff.net, and linking through funkandstuff.net for all of your Amazon purchases. In addition, if you're an artist or anyone seeking proven, results-oriented professional marketing, PR, writing, or editing consultation or production, check out the media services section at funkandstuff.net. Also, I encourage you to drop me a line at scottg@funkandstuff.net. I love the feedback, suggestions, guest requests, appearance and sponsorship inquiries, and just talking about my favorite subject, groove-based music. For now, and as always, this is Scott Dr. GX Goldfine saying, keep on vibing to the rhythm of the one.